Been reading books of old, the legends and the myths.
Hi everyone, my name is Caroline.
And my name's Rebekah. I'm so excited you joined us today to talk about reading.
We love reading.
And one of the things I love most is when I get so into a book that I can't even put it down. But how do you find that perfect book that sucks you in?
We're going to give you some quick tips to help you find books to read with your children and to help them grow as readers.
We'll talk about books' difficulty levels and the importance of choice. So join us. You want to encourage your child to read, but you don't know where to start.
After all, there are tons of books available.
So we're going to talk about Lexile Levels. This is one way that books have been divided based on their difficulty. The higher the Lexile level, the higher the book's difficulty and complexity. So sentence length and word frequency are the two parts that determine how complex a text is.
Kids reading books in their Lexile level range will probably understand about 75% of the book, which means they may struggle with certain words. This is great because 75% is enough to understand and enjoy the book, but it also gives the child room to grow as a reader.
Yeah, and just remember, your child's interests play a huge impact on their motivation to read a text. So don't just limit them to their text level. They'll often be more willing to tackle a more challenging text if they're invested in the topic.
Once you understand how books are categorized based on difficulty, it's helpful to pick a book that fits your child's interests.
The sweet spot for them to have successful independent reading is a book that interests them and is on their level.
Achilles and his gold, Achilles and his gifts, Spider-Man's control.
Nonfiction texts teach readers about real people, places, things, and events. Science books are only one example. When reading with your child, you can go in any direction. Parents, one tip is to ask open-ended questions so their child explains the answer rather than answering with a simple yes or no. I have an example of a science text called Tornadoes by Gail Gibbons. Try asking, "What can you tell me about tornadoes?" You can help each other notice pictures, headers, and captions to build on your child's explanation. The Lexile level is 970 and it is suggested for grades 1 through 4.
Historical fiction is different than nonfiction because some of the events and people in the story really happened in history, and some of them are made up. Even though some of the events and the people are not from history, the books do not rewrite history. They're intended to give us some ideas of what might have happened in these areas where we have holes in our historical accounts. If your child is reading one of these books, ask them, whose point of view is the story coming from? Or how does that view impact the way that you see the real historical event? An example of a historical fiction book is this one. It's called Jefferson's Sons, and it's about the President Jefferson, and the children that he had with one of his slaves. The Lexile level is about 600, and it's intended for upper elementary school children.
Mystery books usually give readers clues about what may happen later in the book, which is also called foreshadowing. Finding these parts of the text and encouraging your child to predict or guess what may happen next can be fun. You could ask, "What may happen next? Which clues helped you think that?" An example is Nate the Great, San Francisco Detective. It is part of a series. Lexile level is 230 and it is suggested for grades 3 to 5.
Graphic novels are an interesting genre of books. For these books, the pictures are just as important as the words. They often address really complex issues in a very approachable way. Because these topics can be difficult, here are some questions you might want to ask your child. Are the pictures and words telling the same story? What story are they telling? How do the pictures help you understand what is happening? Remember that just because a book may look easy to read does not necessarily mean that it's easy to read or understand. An example of a graphic novel is this book, El Defo by C.C. Bell. It's about a girl who experiences hearing loss and how that impacts her time at school and her friendships. Graphic novels tend to reach a wide age range, so this book is suggested for 3rd to 8th grade students, but even older kids might enjoy reading it.
There are different awards given to children's books each year. The awards highlight an author or illustrator's distinguished work of literature in a variety of categories.
Find the list of books that have won over the years online.
You can pause the video now to see a few examples.
So now it's your turn.
Use your library resources.
Your kids look up to you, so you are examples of readers in their lives.
Whether it's 5 minutes or an hour, reading with your child will help them grow.
Oh, I want something just like